Hey, Donnie. Chris Carmen, son of a source. Let's start with the run game. What kind of issues did you think contributed to the explosives that you guys gave up there?
Well, let's be honest. We didn't play very well. That's from the top. We didn't stop the run. We didn't fit the run. We gave up explosive plays in the run and the pass. So when it's all said and done, we didn't play well.
What were some of the main factors do you think
It
of
just
that?
fitting the run, doing what you're supposed to do. Try not to do too much. If you're supposed to trust in your teammate. We got in trouble sometimes with the eyes violations, missed tackles in the open field. You look at some of those things. Was we prepared? No doubt. I thought we had a great week of practice. But what you find out real fast is you can't simulate the speed of another team's motions and their how they execute their stuff. So I'm not going to sit here and act like everything was peachy. We didn't play well.
What about the outside of the Thompson Robinson scrambles? What about the other third and longs?
They beat us on third and long. We were, if you look at some of our third and longs, I mean, they scored on, I want to say three of our three. It was 9 of 11. We didn't play well. You know, I can't sit here and make excuses. I can just tell you reality. You can look for me to say something different. I can't, and I won't try to manufacture an excuse for how we played, other than we didn't play well.
But you thought that the if I understand correctly, the game plan you thought was
Game plan. I mean,
was sound.
how many people you think put together a bad game plan? No. So yes, I thought we played well. I thought we practiced well. I thought we had we were prepared. Now, did we execute? No, we didn't execute. We just didn't execute.
Coach, I was just saying to Coach Iguana, I mean, obviously the interception on the first play.
I thought the game was over then. No, go ahead on.
one,
I
one of the brighter
thought we
spots.
had won it. No,
But
go ahead.
and then even getting the turnover later too. I mean, it seems like they usually start coming in bunches. What anything differently you just see from the defense? Whether I mean in film study, attacking, just
No. At halftime, I went in and I talked to him about several things. I talked to him about getting off blocks, extending, staying in your gap, shedding, making sure your eyes are right. And I think in the second half, we came out and we did some of those things compared to the first half. We didn't do any of those things in the first half. The second half, we came out and we tried to do some of the things I challenged them at halftime.
Their very last touchdown drive came after two positive drives for your defense. What did you see on that drive that you were?
No, I think that other thing wasn't a penalty in there also. Did we get a penalty in there? I could have swore there was a penalty in. Yeah, Corey got a penalty for something. So those things come up to play, and it's hard to regroup after a penalty when you're going on drives and third downs. If you're not executing on third downs and then you get a penalty, it's almost like baseball. You walk somebody, next thing what happens? Bad things happen. So penalties doesn't help you, and you still got to get off the field on third down, which we did not do.
Donnie, just being kind of thin up front with the health issues, Omar and Nesta didn't play a lot.
No.
How much? How much do you think that was a factor in it?
Chris, I don't want to. I'm straightforward, Chris. I'm not going to try to say that we wasn't healthy. Some of those guys were sick, and they played as hard as they could play for the time they played. I think they played probably a half at the best that they could play. Heck, there's few of us, that's still sniffling a little bit, but I'll never sit here and say that was an issue. Other than they played as hard as they could play at the time they played, and that's how I see it.
And Washington State, what do you think about what they do offensively?
Well, here we go again, another quarterback. This quarterback is the guy that's running their offense. He's familiar with it. He came with the new coordinator from the school they came from in Texas, so he's very comfortable running their offense. Compared to last year where they had the guy, I think he went, where's he at now? U of A. So, they're almost similar, but they do some things different than they did last year. They'll be in four wides a lot, spread you out, throw the ball around. I mean, just like this team last week wanted to act like they were going to throw it, this team they are actually going to throw it. This is what they do. They throw the ball around. So, you know, I'm putting the game plan together now, and some of the things we're looking at is trying to make sure we don't give the same looks in the secondary and making sure we disguise a little bit more. I think those things come into play a lot when you got those quarterbacks that can throw the ball around. Go ahead, Ethan. Well, I think Rob does a good job. Coach Rodriguez does a good job of talking about the pass rush and running certain games based on, you know, how we see the protection at times. If we're trying to attack a certain guy, maybe could be the back, could be a guard, could be a center, could be a protection. I think Rob does a great job of talking to him about how we're going to do that weekly, and that's helped us a lot. And let's be honest, it's also his coverage is on the back end. You know, if you can cover a little bit, they go hand in hand. You know, if you can cover them cover them a lot longer, we got a better chance of getting there. So it's a correlation of both. You okay, Chris? You got some more? Come on. I'm good.
Hey, Coach, Furtado, son of a source.
Yeah.
After a performance like that on Saturday,
Mhm.
what's the sense of urgency from your point of view going into these next set of practices? Because, you know, just trying to make sure that you get the message across to them on what they need to improve. Like, how's that going to work?
I'm gonna be the same guy. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna talk about the things we need to improve on. I'm gonna talk about the things that we didn't do well. I'm gonna talk about the things of expectations. I'm gonna talk about execution. I'm gonna be the same guy, and you know, what we got to do is go right now and be positive. We can't go in there and beat people up about it. I mean, that does no good. So my thoughts is I'll be positive as I can this week, like I normally is, and just, you know, talk about the things that we need to do moving forward. You know, that we can't keep looking in the rearview mirror. It wasn't a good game, you know, and I know some of you guys think, you know, you have a lot more to say when it's a bad game. I probably should have a lot more to say, but I don't want to live in the past. I want to move forward, get that game behind me, and move on. You know, some people say you don't even look at that tape, but it's not me. We looked at the tape just to make sure you see what happened. You know, 50 points is a lot. Almost 600 yards is a lot, but does me no good to go, you know, and be negative, so to speak. You know, we gotta be positive. We really do. It's almost like when your kids do something bad. You know, you try to explain to them what happened. You might be a little upset with them, but you try not to express it. Right? You try to communicate to a way that they understand that, hey, and I won't say it's not acceptable, but the reality is you got to play better, and we got to play better.
You mentioned the things that you need to do or improve on going forward. What are the most important of those things? You know, the things that you're specifically targeting to improve on this week.
Run fits. We got to stay. We got to stay. And as I said to them yesterday, when you're a good football team, I can see the back of your jersey. I can see your name on the back of your jersey when you're up front. That means you're staying square to the line of scrimmage. You're not turning. You're not giving up seams, and that's what I talked to them about yesterday. When you're good defensive line, I can see the back of your jersey. So that'll be one thing I talk about a lot this week, is being able to read your name on the back of your jersey, stand square to the line of scrimmage.